definite.
What you smoking?
PV.
Cool. What is that?
It's a electronic cigarette.
No, we're just talking about that.
Is it like the real thing?
Yeah, I smoked for 18 years and tried everything to quit, like Chantix, gum, patches, hypnosis. None of it worked. I got this. I've been smoke free for a year now.
Yeah,
so
my
what is
boss
that?
just started that, and he loves it.
What is that stuff that comes out? Is it smoke or what is it?
No, it's water vapor.
Water vapor.
But you get the three main portions of because there's three main things that's addicted to cigarettes. The least of the three is the actual nicotine. The other two are the mental, and it's the feeling. You get the anxiety smoking and the situational smoking, where every time when you wake up in the day you smoke a cigarette or whatever, and then you have the other part where you get the sensation, like where you inhale, you get what's called the throat hit, you get that feeling, and then you exhale and you get the plume, and that's one of the reasons that it's so hard to quit is because nothing else provides that. Well, this does. You get the inhale, you get the feeling, you get the exhale, you get the plume, and it kills away situational smoking because you can use it anytime. I actually walked through Walmart and used this when my wife was in the hospital
they don't care?
delivering no, because it's just water vapor.
Oh.
When she was in the hospital delivering the twins, I was in there and they let me do it in her room. The hospital did. I mean, it's just water is all it is, water vapor.
So what's it called?
Well, this is called an electronic cigarette.
The funny thing is
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Restaurants and other public places can still have you put it away.
Only because of image. That's the thing. Oh, whenever I use it, most of the time,
like they could tell you to leave because of a T-shirt, your hairstyle, your body odor, anything. Because every business is a private company that can refuse service for any reason. But
Monday, you know what's happening a lot now? What's happening now is in a lot of places. Because they're actually starting to, with the commercials, are starting to get bigger and bigger. Like if you go to a lot of bars nowadays, they actually will rent you one of these while you're sitting there drinking. So that, because a lot of places you can't smoke in bars anymore. So, but no, to answer the question, it's in the community. It's called a PV or a personal vaporizer. This one right here is a Joytech Ego. It's got about 8 hours battery life. Here, I'll actually pull it apart so you can see the different parts of it.
How much is one of those worth? And where do you get them?
Well, you can order them online. This is like the Rolls-Royce version, and it comes with 2 rechargeable batteries. Each one lasts around 8 hours, an atomizer, and a tip and a cone, and it's about $40. And I spend about $14 a month on juice, and that's the stuff you put in it. And so, I mean, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than smoking. I was spending $5 a day.
Well, all you do is charge the batteries and put water in it?
Well, no, not water. It comes with a specific liquid because I still have nicotine in mine. It's 24 milligrams nicotine. That way, I still get the nicotine, but it's flavoring, nicotine, vegetable glycerin, and water. But when you exhale, all you're exhaling is the water vapor.
Does the nicotine is it bad for you when you inhale it?
No, nicotine is in a lot of things. There's more nicotine in a stem of broccoli than there is in a cigarette.
Is that?
Yes. Okay, so this is the battery. Let me get that up there. And then this is 2 pieces. This is the atomizer, which it just has like a little thing that when it charges, it warms up. And then I actually use what's called a drip tip because there's a couple different ways. You can either do it where you actually have cartridges that you fill up.
That's what you said.
Yeah, exactly. Or you just drip directly in the tip. And if you notice, this tip is hollow. And I just drip directly on the atomizer. And it's great. Like I said, I've been smoke free for in about a week and a half. It'll be a year smoke free now.
So would you recommend this to anybody who wants to quit?
Oh, definitely. It has made quitting so much easier.
What's the success rate?
I got 2 questions. 2 questions for you. Do you think life insurance companies will hold that against you if you do the atomizer?
No, because it's no different than someone with asthma using a vaporizer.
It's still nicotine, though.
But there's more like I said, there's nicotine in everything. There's nicotine in chocolate. Nicotine is a stimulant. It's no different than caffeine.
I'm addicted to chocolate?
Nicotine's not what causes the cancer. It's the tar and the actual smoke.
And you don't get any of that.
Nicotine is what the nicotine's added to add to the addictive nature of it.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, well, the government says there's marijuana in cigarettes, and I believe them. So there.
Well, you know what? There's been times where I light a cigarette and it almost smells like weed, so I could kind of see that.
See, the government, man.
Because you're not burning anything, there's no tar, there's no smoke, you're not getting any of the carcinogens. You know, there's the average breath, there's about 40 carcinogens. Unless you're in New York, then it's like 4,000, but that's besides the point. The average breath, there's about 40 carcinogens. The average puff of cigarettes, there's about 2,000 carcinogens. When you're puffing this, you're getting about 5 carcinogens. So it's actually healthier for you as far as breaths than breathing air.
It's healthier than bacon.
And if you live in San Francisco, it's about 100,000 carcinogens.
Now, what's the success rate of this?
Very high. Matter of fact, I actually have business cards that I got from a website, because when I first saw about these, because you see these commercials like, it's only water vapor. You know, you ever seen those commercials on TV where they're talking about
Yes.
Okay, those ones are the crappiest models available, and they're way overpriced. If you go to a shopping mall and you see a kiosk with these, they overcharge, and it's the crappiest model. But so I saw those. I went to a website called e-cigaretteforum.com. That's e-cigarette-forum.com, and it's nothing but a big support group. They talk about the different types, what to use, success stories, and it's this really big community. And it amazed me how much people that were like me, because I was a pack a day for 17, 18 years straight. Been smoking since I was 13.
Wow.
And I enjoy smoking. I never wanted to quit because I enjoy it. I enjoyed waking up or after a stressful day, sitting down, smoking a cigarette, and just relaxing.
Even though it
This
was
feeling-
bad for you?
Oh, yeah. Do you think that people that are morbidly obese don't like food? They enjoy the food. That's part of the problem. And it's the same thing. I enjoyed smoking. And honestly, a lot of smokers enjoy smoking. They don't enjoy the way they smell, but they enjoy smoking. And so it's always been that much harder for me to quit. I started doing this, and I put down cigarettes. As a matter of fact, what I did was 2 weeks after using this, I lit a cigarette and vomited because it tasted so bad. Because they actually have I have different flavored juices. I have, at certain times I could vape, and it actually tastes like and smells like s'mores. Or
Nice.
like berry medley.
That's
walk
what she
around. Berry medley, and it smells like air freshener. I mean, there's all types of different flavors. You can also get tobacco flavors, and I mean, it's a really big and nice community. It's really good.
How long does the liquid stuff last?
Well, there's 2 different ways. Like I said, there's dripping, and there's using the cartridges. Cartridges, it usually lasts a little bit more, but you don't get as much flavor or as much of a throat hit and an exhale. By dripping directly on the atomizer, you're using a little bit more, but you get more flavor. For $14, I get a 50 milliliter bottle, and it lasts me about 3 weeks.
Okay. And
I'm a heavy vapor. I use it all the time.
Is that cheaper or more expensive than the cartridge?
Well, the cartridges are usually more expensive because they're pre-filled. You can buy unfilled cartridges that you fill yourself, and so it's just an added expense. The main turnaround is juice and atomizers, the thing that actually burns the juice, or let me rephrase that. Not because it doesn't burn it. It humidifies the juice.
Okay.
Turns it into that vapor. Atomizers can go out. You can get 2 atomizers that were built at the exact same time, same company. One will last you a week, one will last you 4 months. This is kind of hit or miss. But those, I get 3 of them for about $15, and that usually lasts me about 4 months before I got to buy them again.
And
I mean, it's really cheap.
Do you think you'll ever be able to put that down and just say no more, or?
Eventually, yes, but I don't see the need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, see, my boss is doing the same thing, and for the majority part, it's more of like a self-control thing for him.
Exactly.
So, like he wants to put even the electronic one down because he's like, I'm not really breaking the habit because I'm still taking time out of my day, even though now he doesn't have to walk outside, that kind of thing. He's like, but I'm addicted to this, even though it's not harming me as much. So he's still and that's just him.
But here's what you need to tell him. Because, okay, like I said, addiction to cigarettes is a mental addiction, 100%.
Definitely. I mean, that's just like
well,
food.
90%.
That's like anything.
Okay, but the hardest part of an addiction to cigarettes is the situational smoking. Every time you get in the car, you light up. Every time you get done eating, you light up. So you have these situations when you try to quit, you get to that situation, you get in the car, and you automatically crave a cigarette. But by using this, use it consistently throughout the day. Do that for about 3 weeks. What it does is it takes away the situational dependency.
Yeah.
Because you're using it all the time, it takes away that situational dependency. So once you start bringing this down, then you don't have that situational dependency, and it'll be easier to quit. Also, you can get juices with different milligrams, like 24 milligrams, and then do that for 2 months, and then go down to 18 milligram nicotine. Do that for a couple months, and go down to 8 milligram, and then there's actually people that vape with 0 nicotine in it at all. They just do it because they enjoy it and they get a nice flavor.
Yeah, he's that way. No, it's 0. It's all water vapor.
I mean,
see, honestly, I've never smoked a day in my life, and those e-cigarettes, are tempting, to want to, at least try, because I know that it won't harm me any,
Well, I mean, here's the thing. These aren't marketed as a cessation device because they can't market it that way. They have to get FDA approval for it to be marketed as a smoking cessation device. But in my opinion, 100%, that's what it is. This is to get people off of the horrible carcinogens and pollution of a cigarette and the cancer and everything else, and give them a safe alternative because of the fact that it is so hard. And smoking, I mean, it's gotten better now with the younger generation because smoking wasn't such a big thing. When I was young, you weren't cool unless you smoked. I mean, that's just the way it was. When you're 13 and everyone's smoking around you, you do what you can to get in with the crowd. And it just became an everyday part of my life, and I got so addicted to it because I used it as a crutch, and it's a great crutch. While I'm stressed out, I smoke a cigarette, and it's going to calm me down, and it's a chemical balance that way, but it's just the way it is. So I needed this step to quit.
Right. You see, the thing is, my parents have been, decent smokers for a long time, so, it's been kind of tempting, to at least want to try it.
If you've never smoked, you won't need to try that, though. That's the thing.
I know people that want to quit smoking, and I was wondering if they were really true about wanting to do that, and then you could buy that thing for a gift or something, and
there's tons of different models out there. There's some that actually look like cigarettes because some people need that visual appeal. Mm-hmm. There's some that don't. There's a big modding community.
They don't come cheap, but consider the alternative: lung cancer.
Oh no, they do come cheap. Like I said, this came with 2 8-hour batteries that are rechargeable, 2 atomizers, and 2 tips, and it was $40. And I've had this set for about 7 months now. That's pretty freaking cheap. I spend $14 a month on juice, and then every 4 or 5 months I spend $15 on atomizers, whereas I was spending $5 a day on cigarettes.
And do you feel better about yourself that you've been able
definitely.
to do this?
The hardest part about using this within the first 2 weeks is your body starts coughing up all that horrible shit that was in your lungs from smoking for so long. It's no different than when you quit. You got all this stuff that's kicked up in your lungs and you start coughing it out. And you get some horrible taste when you cough up, and it's painful. But it helps you to get better. I can run a lot longer now. And you understand, I was in the Army. I used to run a 13-minute 2-mile. I mean, I'm old now, but I had some agility back then, and now I run like 5 feet, and I'm like curling over in pain before I started using this. Now, but I'm able to run further. I've got better lung capacity. I feel healthier. All around bonus.
It's too bad they didn't have this back then, in the days where cigarettes were really becoming the cool thing to do or whatever. You know.
Well, see, here's the thing. "Quote unquote" big tobacco is actually lobbying against e-cigarettes because it takes so much money away from them.
Well, of
and
course.
There's no surprise there.
And government tax too, right?
Well, the government's trying to stop the use of e-cigarettes too because they can't tax it. Because it's not a smoking cessation device, they can't tax it as a medication. Because it's not tobacco, they can't tax it as a tobacco product.